ColorADD Life est le réseau d'experts et de designers qui révèle et utilise les potentiels de la couleur dans tous les domaines.
The color and the shape is the most common way to guarantee that all of them can identify or not. We design is not red and don't say stop for us, in my language. The colorblind people identify the shape. Now, if the colorblind people can identify the shape, I create the concept of the ColorADD. The ColorADD concept is very easy to understand, easy to learning. It's based on knowledge. All of us bring from the school the concept of the color addiction, the primary colors and the black and white. And for each one of these colors, I decide to represent through a shape, a graphic symbol, easy to understand, easy to integrate in the visual vocabulary for anyone in any place in the world, and easy to represent in different dimensions and supports, but more, it's easy to mix each others in the same way that we learn and we testing to mix the colors. If I mix the yellow and the red, I have the orange. So if I mix the symbol of the yellow and the symbol of the red, I have the symbol of the orange. And with only 3 symbols, the colorblind people can identify all the colors. They don't see them. They can identify the difference between, for example, a red of a Ferrari or a green of Benetton, but they need to know that color is red, is not green, is orange, is not yellow, etc. It's easy to understand. If I mix the yellow and the blue, I have the green. If I mix the red and the blue, I have the purple. Only 3 symbols can compose all the colors in the same way that we learn in the tests to mix the primary colors and guarantee the other colors. In the same way, the black and white, if you use the white with the blue, you have the light blue. The white gives us the light tones. And if you mix the black with the green, you have the dark green. The black gives us the dark tones. This is something that no exists until this moment. And we are in 2008. I finished my master thesis. This is my master thesis. Developing during 8 years. In 2009, I validate all of this new language through the scientific articles, and the media give voice of this new solution to guarantee with a non-intrusive solution, we can guarantee the integration of colorblind people in the society. In fact, exists 350 million people in the world who can identify the correct colors. Exist a lot of different degrees of color blindness, deuteranopia, protanopia, tritanopia, a lot of different confusions between several colors, but exists 2 people who born to saw only black and white tones. But we live in a world when 90% of the communication is made through the color. How can I decide, how can I go to approach this language for these 350 million? Is impossible because they don't have in head, I'm a colorblind. Color blindness is a non-visible handicap. But if it's difficult to find these 350 million, it's easy to approach this language for 7 billion people with a double purpose. We can integrate the colorblind people in the society, but also we can sensibilize the society for the fact that exist people who can identify the correct colors. How? I create 2 organizations. One of them is a normal company. We work in co-creation with all our partners when the color is important fact of identification, choose or choice of their products or of their communication. When we introduce another win in the questions, not only win-win for us or our partners, but also for the society. ColorADD is already recognized through Ashok. Ashok is the most important social entrepreneurs organization in the world. Zero Project, a program powered by United Nations, recognized ColorADD as a good practice in the worldwide communication in accessibilities. And ColorADD is the first Portuguese B Corp company. And we work with a social business model to guarantee that we can continue this journey for bring the color for the colorblind people. We work with a few license fee, adjust of the dimension of the companies to guarantee that it's fair for all our partners And we believe that each other's in co-creation models, we can approach this language for worldwide colorblind people, including it without discrimination. Now, I have here some examples when ColorADD is already in use. In the hospitals, of course, the health and hospitals is a critical sector. The orientation in hospitals is made through the color. The medicines in the chirurgy, the color is the most important fact to differentiate the different characteristics of the medicines, and of course the triage of Manchester. All of these implementations is already in use here in Portugal and in several countries. Like, for example, these digital platforms, when the color give to all the people the times of you have to wait in the hospital, but also in the medicines, the color is already in use to identify the different characteristics of the medicines, and the grammage and the code is there, validate for the regulator entity. Another example in the transports, even they have name, more of 52% of the users use the color as the first fact of identification. We're testing this concept in the Metro of Porto with the biggest impact. Now we work a lot with a lot of different transports companies when the ColorADD is already integrated in the diagram of the net, including the colorblind people in all of these identifications. Also, more cities, the tourism, the culture, the color is very important. Now we live in a global world, and it's so important to have the color there. And the code is already to guarantee the integration without discrimination, without shame, without constraints for colorblind people. In the beach, is already in use several years, the flag with the color green, yellow, and red. And ColorADD is integrated in all the beaches here in Portugal, nowadays also in Spain, in this summer in Greece, and we are prepared also to Latin America for some countries there. A good practice to guarantee that it's possible, include new solutions to guarantee the inclusion of all in the society who depends of color. More examples, garbage, the recycling bins, not only in the beach, but also in the urban containers, when the color is the first moment to differentiate the plastic, the glass and the paper, for example. Some more examples, parking cars. If you don't have to lose your car in the parking, a public parking or in a commercial center, when the color is already there and symbols are here from a non-intrusive way to guarantee that all the people can identify the place when they leave their car. Also, in the football stadiums, we work with a lot of entities in the sports, not only in the parkings, but also in the wayfinding in the stadiums, because the color is important to identify where is my place in the football stadium, in the tickets too. And this good practice is already put the colorblind as subject in the UEFA agenda. We will use the biggest players to help us to teaching the code for the young childs, because they are fans of these biggest players. And the code is in the kits of training to guarantee that you can identify the colors, the symbol, and all the kids can approach over this with this new language. Another several sectors, the retail, security designs, construction material, summary events, musical concerts, and of course, another situations like the nutritional traffic light, when the ColorADD is in use from a non-intrusive way. The color is there, the symbol are there to guarantee that it's possible integrate more 10% of the people. And textiles, of course, is the most critical way for colorblind people, because they need help to buy clothes, they need help to choose the shirt to have to dress next morning. And we work with the several companies when the code is integrated in the textile labels to guarantee that all can use with the self-independence. This is use the code to promote not only the inclusion, but also the social responsibility in their communication. To finish, school material, color pencils, the impact the impact is incredible. And we work with a small rule. This is not exclusive for anyone. This is the way that we find to spread all of this language for all the publics through the products. This company introduced the code in their pencils, the rescue marketing, and the competitors wants to use too. Is several million of products already in use with the code, guarantee that it's possible to the same products serve all the people, include the colorblind people, and even in games. And the impact is obvious in these situations. This game, the most famous game in card games in the world, called Uno, Mattel introduced the code in their products. Already in the first year, they increase their sales in more 66%. It's possible once money and making the common good. When we mix with co-creation solutions, the second sector, and bring that all the partners to be part of the solution. The impact is incredible, and ColorADD is already in use in the education. All the school materials, manuals here in Portugal, some teaching systems in Brazil and in Spain. ColorADD is already teaching in the schools for the young child, and of course for the high degrees in the formations, because the different disciplines use the color to identify or to learning another materials. We have also an app. You can go to Google Store or App Store and for free download app, and this app identify the colors, the symbol, and with audio description to guarantee that all the people can identify the color with self-independence. And all of this work we give more than to teaching the code, but also to sensibilize all the society. We create an NGO and we work in the schools from the first degree, making something pioneer in the world, making the screening of colorblindness for the young child to prevent bullying, a lot of different activities with the child to make them feel that it's possible to live with the different. They can even integrate the colorblind kids in the society, and we offer school material to all the kids with the material, of course, with the ColorADD Code. We already implemented the ColorADD in school libraries through the recommendation of UNESCO. We have the color as the first fact of identification, different books in the school library, and all of this material, all of these actions we make through the world, not only here in Portugal, but in India, in south of India, in Mozambique. And this is that we want to promote a better world. And now with the sustainable developing goals, when the color is also important, we are create something that guarantee that is possible. We live in the world when the color is important, but we need to bring the color for all the people. I think I finished my time. I believe that is possible with co-creations models, guarantee that all of us can be part of the solution. And I have no doubt that we can promote a better world for all and a colorful world for all too. Thank you.